Yo! What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Daffy. And newsflash, apparently if you like anime or the animation medium in general, you're a pedophile. Oh, God. Oh, man, what a time to be alive, man. So recently, I was scrolling on Twitter, right? Also follow me on Twitter at @TheRealOGDaffy. And I came across some foolishness, which we're about to take a look at here. Today, I had to embrace my inner High C. Shout out to good brother High C, makes good content. And I want to sit here and discuss what this young fella here is talking about. These are pretty bold claims that we're gonna be talking about here. Also, before we get into the video, number one, make sure you subscribe. And also, I don't want this to get like super political or anything like that. Obviously, if you take a look at what this dude, his background is, you know what he's about. But I'm really not trying to have the comment section turn into a whole political thing. I don't want any of that shit near my channel. Because you know, rich elites run everything, regardless of who you vote for, anyway. But yeah, so let's go ahead. Let's dive into it. I'm curious.
You know this Zoomer culture thing of the, I'm a cute, I just want you to know that if you're into anime, you're a pedophile. To be clear, if you watch those cartoons, if you read those comics, if your avatar is remotely associated with any kind of Japanese animation, you're a pedophile, you're a pervert, you're infantilized. You're sick and depraved, and I notice you talk a big game. A lot of the wingnats use anime.
Wingnats? Does he mean wing nut? Does he mean wing nuts? That's a super Mario thing to get on for. I took a small look at this clip beforehand. I didn't finish the entire thing because I wanted to obviously make this video. There's a high chance this dude has absolutely no faith in what he's talking about whatsoever. We'll talk about it in a second.
Avatars, and they're always how I'm a pussy and a cuck and shucking, and they're gonna kick my ass, and you're all weak, loser, incel, virgin, pussy, pedophile, sicker.
So number one, this dude just threw every buzzword that he found on Urban Dictionary at you. There's also a very large amount of people that watch anime that will beat your ass, and I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm one of them because I'm not a tough guy. I love everybody. I love people. I would never. But this is such blatant rage bait. It is hilarious. And I'll show you this community note here in a second because the community note kind of cooked his ass up. But I just like, what?
Goes. Because these gestures that come from Japan are the gestures of a child. Look at her cartoony.
Number one, I'm pretty sure this is from Turning Red, which is an American-made cartoon. Oh shit! And I want you to take note of something. He explicitly says Japanese cartoons. Now I'm not gonna make any slanderous claims, any false accusation that this man might be xenophobic. I'm not saying that. I would never say that. But
fuck.
I want you to take a shot every time this man says Japanese or Japanese cartoons. Just. If you think this is bad, I want you to go to your TikTok page. I want you to get like 30 scrolls down before you find some like drugged out meth addict doing like a thirst trap reaction with like 500 pounds overweight and like maybe 7 teeth in their mouth, and they're just.
Y'all could say I got W ribs.
With some filter that makes him look like a snowman or something. It has nothing to do with anime. Cringe exists everywhere, and cringe for the most part is like pretty like harmless. I don't necessarily think that cringe is something that's like super bad or like, and like this is this cringe? Yes, absolutely. It's the whole millennial core thing. But like, as long as you're not hurting anybody, who really gives a fuck, man? Who cares? You're having fun.
She's acting like a 3-year-old, and they're talking about fucking. This comes from Japanese cartoons, and the
This isn't exclusively a Japanese thing, though. That's what's weird to me.
Japanese cartoons are trying to be cute, so they mimic 4-year-olds. I fucking hate this shit. I hate Japanese animation. It sucks shit. I hate their little sharp triangle noses.
Buddy, if you hate their sharp triangle noses, let me show you something. We'll talk about this in a second. What do you think about this? What do you think about my goat, Samurai Jack, huh? Like, hating an art style exclusively towards a country is such a weird complaint. That's so weird to me. That's so odd. It's like saying you hate Chinese cartoons or you hate American cartoons. Here's the thing. A lot of American cartoons do look like terrible, but that's just because like at the actual studios themselves. There's also a lot of American-made cartoons that look fantastic, that look great. Again, Samurai Jack, you have examples of that. Even French studios like Fantastic Four, the anime, throwback to that if you know what I'm talking about. That looked great. Earth's Mightiest Heroes from the Avengers, that looked great as well. So like, what? Like, you're grasping at straws, brother.
That's the thing that bugs me the most.
For me, it's the thin lines and like, yeah, it just nothing looks solid. It looks weightless. Yeah, it just nothing looks solid. It looks weightless. There's no weight.
It's thin, wiry frames.
Right.
Brother. That's just animation in general. And also, you can still have very wide, large strokes. If anyone's an artist that's watching this video, please comment your thoughts on this here specifically, because I feel like you are more qualified to talk about this. This is so silly. It's shit. What? No way. Brother, what? Brother. There's only a pen, a stylus can only get so big, brother, before it turns to a marker. What are you talking about?
I just could never do it. Dragon Ball Z was the closest I got, and they have thick lines. So I guess maybe.
Yeah.
What? That's what I'm saying. This dude has no idea what he's talking about. He is not emotionally invested in this topic whatsoever. It's the Ragebait. Hey, you know what? Hey, I get it. The only reason I'm reacting to this in general is because I know for a certified fact there are actually people that think like this. 100%.
That is my big problem.
All this, I hate their fucking explosions and the lines and everything. If you want to see the brilliant cartoons.
If you had explosions and lines, never watch a Michael Bay movie in your life.
This is a subject that doesn't go well for me, but people don't understand that I can hate superhero comics and not want you to read them, but I can also appreciate graphic novels and the incredible art behind them. That's a very tough sell. I understand. You don't.
So you hate the superhero medium, and which is fair enough. But there's a lot of superhero cartoons and even indie superhero comics that have very good graphic novels. The Last Ronin is a fantastic example. That's Ninja Turtles, right? That's kind of a superhero story, kind of, but
come from where I come from in Montreal. Bande dessinée, being a cartoonist was like being in a band. Like we would meet and make shit together. But this sort of head nigga in charge of
Yo, the confidence this man said. Yo, this man Charlie Sheened it. Hold on, what?
Nigga in charge of, but this sort of head nigga in charge of comics in Montreal was Chris Oliveros.
Head nigga in charge, yeah, bro.
And he published Drawn and Quarterly, and he just put out this graphic novel that is the best thing ever.
This is the head nigga in charge? You know what? I respect it. I do. This man pulled a Charlie Sheen, bro. This man talk about another white man or racially ambiguous man, whatever, called him the N-word. Yo, I respect it. I do. I respect the hustle.
I've ever read. And it's called Are You Willing to Die for the Cause? We laughed at him when he started doing his own comics. He sucked. So he quit. He sold the publisher and he totally focused on becoming a good cartoonist. And now he's one of the best. Do you see what I'm talking about the lines?
What? So your hang up isn't how the story's presented, how in the West we frame stories differently than how they do over in Japan. Your issue isn't with voice acting, isn't with how storyboards are made and created, isn't how with certain animation techniques over in America, they can seem a little less inspired. They can seem a little less dynamic. For example, Invincible, but then you go to things like X-Men where it's fantastic, and that's a budgetary issue as well. Talking about the lines, I don't like this art style, but that's just me personally. It's just I could see where the appeal would be. For me, it's not that. This looks like a cardboard cutout is what it gives to me. But here's the thing: I am sure that there are plenty. Ignore that. Sorry. I'm sure that there are plenty of different anime that have thicker lines. Let's go to Shonen Jump real quick. Let's look up something real quick. Let's look up. Undead Unluck has pretty I would say Undead Unluck has fairly thick line work for something else. So even like One Piece, I know for a fact that One Piece, I talk about One Piece way too much on my fucking channel, but I'm sure One Piece has very thick lines from what I remember from what little I've read of the manga. Let's go to just some like random chapter or some shit. I have no idea. Yeah, dude, like what? Oh my God, who is this? Why are you? God, these characters are so fucking ugly. But nah, dude, that's just a nothing complaint. It's a bunch of nothing.
Like, look how thick they are, and the amount of black he uses, and it's.
And the amount of black that he uses. Japanese manga is black and white. When something is in color, it's a surprise. It's a big deal. That's why color pages are huge.
Every frame is very substantial.
Every frame is substantial? You said nothing with that.
I saved this for weeks because I knew once I read it, it's gone, right? It was like
you saved
like
this for weeks.
So I would only read it if I was like sober as a judge and in a good mood and had a big dinner, and I'd only read a few pages at a time. But
you're capping.
Joke's on us. You can draw.
Yeah, okay. That dude has no idea what he's talking about. I respect the hustle though. I gotta listen. If you got an engagement farm, do that. If you gotta get you some views, some ad revenue real quick, you see what I'm saying? Boost your monthly members, do that. I respect it. I do. My issue is that Ragebait used to be believable, bro. Like, you would have pictures of our panels of people saying like, "Oh, Goku is getting negatived by Makima," and people would believe it. People would be getting angry. Now, whenever you see that, people are like, "Oh, he's capping," whatever, like that, or they'll frame it in a way where it's very not believable, and people obviously know that you're trolling. Then we have the community notes, which say readers added context they thought people might want to know. Anime is not pedophilic as the subjects are fictional. It's chosen primary narrative medium in Japan. I will jump in here. I will say that while yes, I do think Japan kind of is a little OD as far as general perversion goes in their medium, and even in the country as well. I mean, you see some shit they got in vending machines over there. There's a large majority of anime that does not have a whole bunch of fan service and stuff like that. Even people that are growing up and grew up with anime and are now older, like whenever we see fan service, like it's not cool, bro. It's more so annoying. You look at the discourse that happens with the homegirl in Fire Force, Tamaki or whatever, right? Like a lot of people were turned off by it. Look at the fan service in Undead Unluck. A lot of people say those first 10 chapters of Undead Unluck were rough to get through because of the fan service, right? And this is just for like adult women, right? And again, even like what people that are underage in the fan service, like people generally think it's weird, right? You're gonna have your weirdos like, oh my God, oh boy. But the overall majority of people are like, bro, that's weird. I'm not really trying to see that. You know what I mean? That also has to go into the demographic to which it's being served to. Whenever fan service in shonen is shown, the characters, yes, are going to be underage, but also it's primarily for an underage audience. It's for young men and teenagers, right? Not typically someone in their 30s and 40s reading it. So which is why people like that are older skip past it, and they're not like sitting there focusing on it, like sitting there beating their meat because Naruto went to his sexy jutsu one time. Like, it's not gonna happen, bro. You know what I mean? There's a good thing and a bad thing to this. Now, the good thing also is that, like, in America, we're not, for the most part, running, like, our animation studios, like, sweatshops, like they are over there in Japan. Or if you're, ufotable, you commit some, light tax evasion, you'll be fine. But I really do think that this is just rage bait. It's clickbait. It's just a whole bunch of nothing. Now, someone did say that this dude, in my Discord, someone said this dude's a member of the Proud Boys. Now, is his name in here? Gavin McInnes. Is he? Gavin? Shit. McInnes. Shit. Oh yeah, he's the Proud Boys founder. Okay, so they weren't lying to me. So if we take a look at what the Proud Boys are real fast, Anti-Defamation League. Okay. Let's look at what they are. So the Proud Boys, if you don't know, let's go to this description right here. The Proud Boys is an exclusively male North American far-right neo-fascist militant organization that promotes and engages in political violence. The group's leaders have been convicted of violently opposing the United States government, including the constitutionally prescribed transfer of presidential power. Let's look up Proud Boys crimes. Proud Boys crimes. Let's look that up. Oh boy. All right. So if we look at here, yes, Proud Boys were formed by Gavin McInnes, co-founder of Vice Media in 2016 during the presidential election. They consider themselves a Western chauvinists who romanticize a traditional male-dominated version of Western culture. While they vehemently deny adherence to any racist ideology, the organization is deeply rooted in white nationalism and misogyny. If you are not familiar, white nationalism is the idea that America, with the more immigrants and more non-white people that come into the country, American civilization is slowly coming to an end, such as things like race mixing and critical race theory, which, as we know, is just not true. Now we see here, Proud Boys defendants plotted 8 premeditated violent attacks, 2 of which were successful. 16 individuals were involved in spontaneous violence, all of which resulted in injuries to their victims. At least 6 people have been killed or injured in Proud Boys related attacks since 2017. However, this is a conservative estimate since it's unclear how many individuals were injured in an attack outside the New York Metropolitan Club in Manhattan in 2018. Point is, if you don't want to look at all this data, they are good dudes. They are not good people. So again, this is Ragebait. This is just to get people riled up, such as myself, to engage in a whole bunch of discourse and for them to get cooked online because he knows that it's like, oh, the anime nerds, they get really offended when something I say. I gotta say something slanderous.
Nah, fuck that shit. This nigga is a fucking pedophile.
Oh man, old man yells at cloud. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Are you willing to die for the cause? And I like, again, this artist, I'm sure that he worked very hard on this. This is a unique art style. Yeah. But it's a different style, though. I typically do prefer things like this, but there's also a lot of American-made stuff that looks great as well. So, yeah, I mean, like, what are the quote tweets saying? I'm very curious. I can't even see the quote tweets on this. What? I literally can't even go to the quote tweets on this. Okay. But, yeah, man, I guess if you watch anime like myself, you inherently like children, which is just not true at all, because there's degenerates in every single fandom that you go to, especially Minecraft, which is why I will never play it on my channel. You also have a whole subgenre of anime and manga, CNN, and a whole bunch of other things that are, targeted towards adults and things like that, like Fire Punch or like Vinland Saga or different things of that nature. Even Metamorphosis. This is just a whole bunch of nothing. So, I guess to wrap this video up, if you like anime, you little kids, bye.